Hello, YouTube. Hello, TikTok as well. How are we all going? We're going to talk about money mindset. Let me just make sure I've got all the settings. How are we going over here on YouTube? I'm going to do my best to answer questions and go through any of the comments that I get. How are we going? It is Tuesday. It actually feels like later in the week. I don't know if that's like the eclipse energy. Thank you for the likes on TikTok. I don't know what it is. It just feels like later in the week. But we're going to get straight into it. We are going to speak about why you may be struggling to manifest money, manifest abundance overall. This is something that I just want you to think about when I'm speaking about money. I'm also speaking about your ability to welcome in new abundance, your ability to step into an abundant mindset. And we're going to speak about the two reasons that I see with all my clients, my community, I see in conversations with my friends, I've seen in myself. So if you are someone, right, this is for my high achieving women, you are doing all of the things, right, when it comes to the money mindset. Maybe you're doing the EFT tapping, you're watching videos like this one, maybe videos over on TikTok, you're listening to the subliminal audios, you're doing the visualization meditations, you are doing any form of somatic healing, whether that's shaking your body or bit of breath work or dancing, mirror work. You've got the affirmations on your sticky notes. You've got your vision board printed out and you see it every single day. And maybe it feels like you are doing all of the things and you have this big goal. And now, right now, as I'm speaking, I just want you to envision and think of the goal that you have, your monetary goal, just to keep this really specific and tangible for this live that I'm doing today. I just want you to get specific on the amount of money. Hello to everyone joining TikTok, YouTube. I want you to get really, really specific on what that amount of abundance that you are trying to bring in. For some of you, maybe it's $500. Others, maybe it's $50,000. And I just want you to think of that amount. Now, before we go into the two reasons why you're struggling, and as I said, if you're joining me now, these two reasons I see with all of my clients, I've seen in my community, friends, myself, when you're struggling to manifest money. So think of the amount that you are trying to manifest. Maybe it's an extra $500. Maybe it's a bonus at your job for $5,000. Maybe you're trying to hit that $10,000 month in your online business, and that has been a goal for yours. But you just feel like no matter what you're doing, it's like this uphill struggle. And you're just trying to stay in this positive, high vibration, thinking positively about money. But then, like, those intrusive thoughts come in, and it's like, you're not good enough, or like, this is hard, or you're never going to manifest that, or it's easier for everyone else, right? If that is you and you resonate, this is for you. So the amount, and then I kind of want you just to get a little bit more in touch with that amount. What does that amount mean for you? If your number is an extra $500 this month, what does that look like for you? Is that to pay for a bill? Is that to go out to a nice dinner? Is that to book some flights? Hello to everyone joining. There's lots of you today. How exciting. If you're trying to get that $10,000 month in business, what is the 10,000? Why do you want $10,000 a month? If you're joining live and you do want to share, write it in the comments and I'll see it pop up. Why is it that you're aiming for that $10,000 a month? Does that mean that you can pay all your bills, you can pay all your taxes, maybe you can save enough money to go on an international trip every single quarter? Get really specific. Now, as I'm speaking and I reveal to you these two reasons that you're struggling, then I want you just to kind of keep relating back of how these things are actually directly related to the monetary amount you are trying to manifest. So the very first thing is you are probably making your money goal the most relevant thing about you, your experience, your way of being, your way of living, your way of doing. You are the more relevant that you make your money goal, the harder it is going to feel to get it because you've put it on a pedestal. Hear this again. The more relevant that you make a money goal, the harder it is going to be. And I know I hear you, you're like, well, Jess, like, of course, like I want that $10,000 month, or I want to manifest that $5,000 bonus, or I want to manifest that extra $100 per week. It is relevant for me. It is relevant for my life. I get that. I hear that. And I have been in that position too, where I make it everything about what I'm doing and who I am. And like, that's the only focus that I have. But the more relevant that you, and this can be applied to anything that you're manifesting, anything you're bringing into your vicinity, if you have something that is so relevant and it's like the most relevant thing that you're working towards, especially money, you are popping it onto a pedestal. When it is on a pedestal, what starts to happen is you're not neutralized towards that thing whatsoever. So, on a pedestal, what I teach with my clients is the emotional matrix. Just to keep it super simple, we have the fantasy section up here, we have neutrality, and then underneath, we have the fear section. I see most high achieving women, they go between the fantasy world and then they go between the fear world, and there's not a lot of neutrality. And so, if you are making your money goal the most relevant thing about you, most of the time I see it like it's on this pedestal. Think of like someone you have on a pedestal, something you have on a pedestal. It almost seems like unattainable, unachievable, like it's this grand, like godlike figure. And if you create it like that, it seems so far displaced from your current reality. So this is why it feels like a grind that no matter what you do is never going to match up to that amount of money that you want. So that's the first struggle that I see a lot of high achieving women going through, is making their monetary goal the most relevant thing about them. It's on this pedestal. And when something's on a pedestal or you're living in fear, you're not neutral. To create a state of bringing anything that you want into your life, money, relationships, career, business, health, you need to get on the vibration of neutrality. I'll give you an example, a personal example for me that happened when I was manifesting and wanting to attract my current relationship that I am. So, this was a couple of years ago. For a while, when I was dating and going on dates, and I was like, I'm really, really ready. I'm ready to welcome someone new into my life. I'm ready to welcome in a long term adult relationship. It started to become like the most relevant thing. Like, I would fixate, like, okay, these dates have to be the best thing, or, this is what I really, really want. Like, it's this really needy and clingy energy, right? And it was like on a pedestal, like almost as unattainable. When I started to act, and with all of my containers, and I'm actually teaching a program next week. It starts next week. It's called Match for Money. I teach you exactly the energetics and the practical steps of attracting the abundance that you want, the money that you want, regardless of your career, regardless of your business. This is for the high achieving women where you are already making money, you've got money, but maybe it's like you feel guilty spending it. You feel the anxiety settle in when you are paying for a bill or even for a coffee or a meal, even though you're like, I have money for this. Why do I still feel guilty? Why do I still feel anxious every time I'm paying for something? This is for the women that want to feel safe in their nervous system, to be able to regulate and like feel good around money and having money conversations. Even now, like, does the word money make you feel some type of way? Even if you like, if you're watching the replay, pause the video and just like the word money, like allow it to sit in your body. Like, what comes up for you? What is feeling uncomfortable? Where is the tension? And this is what we speak about inside of Match for Money. And as the program name suggests, how do you become a match for money, but more so the abundance mindset, the overflow mindset? When my clients have worked on their abundance mindset, their relationship with money, their relationship with overflow and abundance, do you know what starts to happen? It's not just about the money. Like, the monetary wins that I've seen with my clients, one of my clients, she manifested $52,000 salary increase. One of my clients manifested in her career $35,000 in 3 days. But do you know what else I've seen? When you start to work on your relationship with abundance and overflow, I see my clients booking solo trips. I see my clients booking trips for them and their family. I see my clients putting towards their parents' retirement. I see my clients being able to see a bag, a handbag that they want, and go and buy it from, because they're coming from overflow. They've healed and fixed that relationship that they have with money and the relationship they have with abundance. And so, everything that I'm speaking to you about, if you're resonating and this is like where you want to be, like you want to feel safe within your nervous system, you want to be able to have conversations around money. You know that you make money, but you don't, you're like, why do I always feel guilty or weird when I'm going to pay for a coffee? Match for Money is for you. All of the details are in the show notes below. If not, TikTok, Instagram, link in my bio, or you can send me a DM over on Instagram. All the usernames are the same at Jess Pinelli. Now, I digress. What I was saying is, looking at the relevancy, what I've seen with my clients, actually, I was giving you an example. And so with the relationship example, I made it so relevant. It was on this pedestal. It was like it was the most unattainable thing. The moment that I bring it into a neutral ground and I actually teach you how inside of Match for Money, like how do I feel neutral towards money? The moment that I bought that want, and it was almost like a need of a romantic relationship, an adult long-term relationship, you start to get on the vibration of already having it. Now, that's kind of like the first reason I see a lot of high achieving women struggle to manifest more money, to step into an abundance mindset. The second is they don't feel safe in their nervous system. I want you just to look at your behavior and the way you operate around money. Do you actually feel safe? Do you actually feel safe holding money? One of the beliefs that I had to work through, it took me a couple of years, and maybe you'll resonate, and we work through dissolving limiting beliefs like this in my program. We also go through stuff like this in my mastermind, Will Mastery Mastermind. But one of the things I had to work through was not feeling safe to have money, like keeping it in my bank account. Like I always had to get rid of it. And I would go on these spending sprees and I would emotional spend. And then I would repeat the cycle and I'd be like, why am I living paycheck to paycheck? Why do I feel so poor? Why am I so poor? All of this. It's because I didn't actually feel safe to have money. A lot of people want money, but they don't feel safe to like look at it in their bank account. They feel uncomfortable. They feel like they need to get rid of it. And so my nervous system isn't adjusted to that. And on this, on the safety within our nervous system, if you are going from making in your business like $1,000 a month and you want to manifest $10,000 months, like that's a big leap for your nervous system. This is why I don't really believe in like the quantum leaping. I believe that quantum leaping, if you want to use that term, is more like the micro shifts. Something I say is a 1% of messy inspired action over a course of days, weeks, months, years. And then all of a sudden you get to this point, it's like, oh, I'm a whole different person. Okay, I'm going to make the leap. And it feels like this big quantum leap, but you've actually been making these micro shifts. And so I lost my train of thought, but I'll continue anyway, where I was going with that. That's right, the capacity within your nervous system. And so we're going with the example I shared. If you are at this point where you're making $1,000 a month and then you want to get to $10,000 a month, like your nervous system is going to be like, that's not safe. Remember, our nervous system and our subconscious mind, it is designed to protect us. It is designed to keep us safe. And so if something is out of the norm, if something is out of the capacity we are already experiencing and we have experienced as normal, it's going to do whatever it can to sabotage being able to bring in the new things you're trying to bring in. And I teach this in all my containers, whether it's to do with money, a relationship. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you have started to change your life, right? You're manifesting new relationships, money, opportunities, things are happening. And then like 3 months go by and you find yourself starting to get back into the same patterns and behaviors. And you found you yesterday. Hello from Australia. Hello from Australia as well. I'm also Australian. Thank you for being here. If you're finding yourself getting back into those patterns, it's because somewhere along the way of when you're trying to make these shifts of change, your nervous system has gone, no, we don't feel safe. We don't feel safe whatsoever. SOS alert. Let's stop this and let's revert back. Let's revert back to what is safe. Let's revert back to what is something that feels good and feels comfortable. And that's the thing, when something feels comfortable, we like that. We know that we don't grow in our comfort zone, but our body and our nervous system likes that. So the two reasons I see high achieving women, I've seen it with my clients, my community, I've seen it with myself, with my friends, with family, that we struggle to manifest money or to step into an abundant and an overflow mindset and reality is because, number one, we make it the most relevant thing, that it's on a pedestal and we're not neutral about it. We're not in equilibrium. Number two, we don't feel safe to have and welcome that amount of money. Like this one is like, these two are so important. I think I'm going to I just love comments on TikTok. I think I'm going to do a TikTok about this and also on my story. But these are the two main things that I see. If women are like, I'm doing all of the things, Jazz. Like, I have got a good routine. I am working on my subconscious reprogram. I'm doing like the lack of neutralization and not being able to feel safe within your body are the absolute reason that more money, and don't just focus on the money aspect, also focus on the abundance aspect, the overflow aspect. That's what I want you to focus on. So I'm going to leave it here. This is like a quick live for today. And I think while I'm in the vibe, I'm going to make a TikTok about it and maybe speak about it on my Instagram stories. But like I said, if you love anything that I'm speaking about, Match for Money, it's a 4-week group coaching program. You get video trainings. You also will be able to get on a Q&A with me every single week. So there's 4 calls. But also my Will Mastery Mastermind, I go through all of the phases. I have 3 phases. For Will Mastery stands for Woman Mastery. So I've really refined these over the past 5-6 years. And it's just like, I've seen so many insane results from my clients. If you do want to see results, if you do want to see what my clients, their wins, definitely my Instagram, if you go to the highlights, you can see all of it. Any advice to manifest? I'm going to answer this question. Any advice to manifest a particular house? I've walked through it just asking. Okay, so the first, like a few practical intangible is, again, let's go back to what I was saying about manifesting a certain amount of money, right? If we're making it the most relevant thing, it means that we are in a neutral state. To be able to bring something into our vibration, we know whether anyone here is, if you're not into manifestation, spiritual, it doesn't matter. We are atoms, we vibrate, we are vibrating on different frequencies. It's been proven scientifically, right? So even if you don't believe in it. But if we are on a vibration here, say, and if we're using this example, like how do I manifest a particular house? If we're making this house like on the pedestal, up in this vibration, the fantasy, if you missed it, so one of my concepts is the emotional matrix. This is the neutral line. This is the fantasy quadrant. And then down here is the fear quadrant. If we place this up in the fantasy, like it's relevant, it's the best thing, like I'm going to live a whole new life. Like, again, I'm just like talking shit to get the example across, but I'm going to live the best life. I'm going to everyone's going to validate me, or like whatever the house means to you. We need to bring it into the vibration of neutrality of already having it. So how do we do that? Number one, I'm going to go through, the 3 phases I teach all of my clients. Let's just quickly do a run through with some tangibles. Phase number 1, subconscious reprogramming, reprogramming the belief system that is driving you. Your subconscious mind is the captain. And if the captain's not on board with what you want consciously, you're going to, instead of like, if you want to go this way, but your subconscious mind is rooted in this way, no matter what you do, you're always going to veer off this way. So that's phase 1, looking at your subconscious programming, tangible, subliminal audios, being able to do a visualization meditation. Like even here, I can paint it. I'm an artist. What I would suggest, paint the house and sit with it and look at it and see what the vibration is. It excitement to start off with, and this is where a lot of people go wrong with their vision board, is because they look at it, they get excited, they're in this like giddy vibration, and then they kind of like start to settle. They don't actually neutralize. They're like, oh, okay, maybe I can't do that, or it's so far away, and they start to backtrack, right? So that's perfect. It's like visualize yourself in the house, like look at it. Where does the tension come up in your body? Other things that can help: EFT tapping, somatic shaking. Second phase, draw in it, not paint it. Do you practice meditation or grounding techniques? I'll come back to that question in a moment. Second phase that I teach all my clients, identity reprogramming, identity shifting. So the embodiment of the self concept. So for this particular question about the house, how would you be if you had the house? Like, how would you actually be acting? And a lot of people will go, well, yeah, of course, like I would be acting like more rich, or I'd be dressing this way, or I would actually, like it's crazy to me that people are like, yeah, I know this, like this is how, but they don't. the thing is, like, when we envision our higher self, we envision like us and like a higher self here. And it's like, when I get here, then I'll be my higher self. No, to get here, you quite literally need to minimize that gap and become that. So, how would you act waking up in the house? Is a house in a certain neighborhood? Go for walks in that neighborhood. Is it around the corner? Go just like when you go for a walk, just like kind of hover out the front, not in a weird way, but like hover and just imagine. Um, and be able to like embody like I have this when you wake up, right? The best state to do a visualization meditation and a meditation is when you're waking up and when you're going to sleep. So literally as you're waking up every morning, just be like, oh my god, I'm so grateful to be waking up in, and you can say the address. And then I could speak about these phases forever. By the way, anyone watching and you want to learn more about these 3 phases, I actually have a free exclusive podcast episode. Like, it's not a public podcast episode. You can just message me here on YouTube in the comments or on my Instagram. I can send you the link, and I like give like more tangible of how to work through this. The 3rd phase is regulating to a new capacity. So something that we touched on about not feeling safe is like, how are you expanding yourself to welcome that house? If I quite literally gave you the keys to the house in the next 5 minutes, what happens in your body? I said this question to one of my clients the other day. She, was growing her following on TikTok, and I said to her, okay, if I clicked a button and all your videos went viral and you had 1 million people, like 1 million followers, what starts to happen? And she goes, I could see she got uncomfortable. She wasn't ready. And so that just tells me her nervous system doesn't feel safe. She's like not expanded. So being able to expand, and this is about exposure, like where can you start to stretch? I always say like stretch your comfort zone. Don't step out of it. Stretch that comfort zone into where you want to be. There's a few. And what was the other question that I got? Practice meditation or grounding techniques. Yep, I meditate every single day. I think that a lot of people think that you need to meditate in silence. I don't. I listen either to a subliminal, I do a visualization meditation. I have those that are part of my mastermind as well. It's something that helps set up my day, end my day, and throughout the day, I just check in with myself. Like, do I need to get into a meditative state? Grounding things, somatic shaking, dancing about, resting, napping, stopping, being still. I always say to my clients, if you're overwhelmed, stop, do nothing. We are taught in this world, because it's so chaotic and busy, to always be doing something, to always be productive, to always like go, 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 go. I just tell my clients, like, stop and do nothing. But I hope this has helped so much. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate everyone over here on YouTube that has come on, everyone on TikTok. Like I said, if you want that exclusive podcast episode, it's absolutely free. No strings attached. I just like go through my phases that I teach in my mastermind. And there's nothing worse than a podcast where it like just kind of talks fluff and it doesn't teach you anything. This one's really, really tangible and it teaches you. So it's either in the link in my bio, or you can just DM me on Instagram and I can send you the link. But I'm going to go now. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, YouTube. Goodbye. And thank you, everyone.